The headaches started when I was 29. Not mild tension headaches, debilitating episodes that made me vomit, lose vision in my left eye, and forget where I was. I was an elementary school teacher at Riverside Academy, missing days because I couldn't see well enough to drive. Cluster headaches with atypical features, Dr. Jennifer Walsh said after weeks of testing. But there's something else. The MRI shows an arteriovenous malformation in your brain, an AVM. A tangle of abnormal blood vessels that could rupture at any time. I stared at the brain scan. Rupture. Hemorrhagic stroke. We need surgery, either open surgery or gamma knife radiation, to eliminate it before it ruptures. Without treatment, you have about 15% annual risk of a life-threatening brain bleed. Surgery was scheduled for June. Cost after insurance, $52,000. I'd need the entire summer off for recovery. My savings would be wiped out. I called my mother that evening. Linda Foster was Director of Nursing Excellence at Memorial Hospital, responsible for nursing education across 5 facilities. She'd just been nominated for the State Nursing Leadership Award, a huge honor with a $20,000 prize and ceremony in September. An AVM? Mom's tone was dismissive. Emma, that sounds like something doctors find on scans and call serious when it's probably nothing. How big is it? Dr. Walsh says it's small but dangerous because of location. So it's small. They probably want surgery to make money. Have you tried migraine medication? Mom, this isn't migraines. This is abnormal blood vessels that could cause a stroke. Honey, I've been a nurse for 3 decades. Doctors love to scare patients. 15% chance. That means 85% nothing happens. Pretty good odds. My head pounded. Dr. Walsh says I need surgery. She's being overly cautious. Look, your sister's wedding is in August. We've spent $40,000 already. Your father and I cannot help with medical costs. Maybe payment plans? Or wait a year. Every year I wait, I have 15% chance of brain hemorrhage. Emma, you've always been anxious about health. Remember when you thought you had appendicitis and it was gas? You're catastrophizing. These headaches are probably work stress. Try a vacation. 2 days later she called back, voice bright. Exciting news. I'm a finalist for the State Nursing Leadership Award. Ceremony is September 14th at the Grand Ballroom. You'll come, of course. I'm giving an acceptance speech about family values in nursing. Congratulations, Mom. I want you front row. Your father, Kelly. Perfect family picture. Oh, and Emma, try to look healthy. I don't want people thinking something's wrong. There's something wrong. I have an AVM. You have headaches, sweetheart. Let's not dramatize. About the ceremony, wear something nice. Navy blue. Nothing too tight since I know you get tension headaches. They're not tension headaches. Of course they are. Trust me, I'm a nurse. I know the difference. Build up. Over 3 months my condition worsened. Cluster headaches came almost daily. I took medical leave from teaching, burning through sick days and losing income. Dr. Walsh increased pain medication, but it barely helped. Emma, we need to move up surgery. The frequency suggests the AVM might be becoming unstable. How much earlier? August instead of September. I have an opening August 23rd. 3 weeks before Mom's award ceremony. I called to tell her. August 23rd? Mom sounded annoyed. That's right before the ceremony. Can't you schedule it after? Dr. Walsh says we can't wait. I think Dr. Walsh is being dramatic. Brain surgery for headaches? That's extreme. Have you gotten a second opinion? I've seen 3 neurologists. They all say the same thing. They're all in the same network, so of course they agree. Look, I need you at that ceremony. I'm getting a major award. The governor will be there. I've written my speech about nursing and family. You not being there would be embarrassing. Mom, I'll be recovering from brain surgery. How long is recovery? 4 to 6 weeks. So you'll be fine by September 14th. Perfect. Schedule follow-ups around the ceremony. I need you there looking healthy and supportive. I started documenting everything. Every call where Mom minimized my AVM. Every text calling it just headaches. Every email prioritizing her ceremony over my surgery. I kept medical records. The MRI, surgical recommendations, documentation of worsening headaches. 2 weeks before surgery I had the worst headache of my life. Vision loss, confusion, severe vomiting. I called 911. They admitted me 3 days to rule out hemorrhage. Mom visited once, 30 minutes. This seems like an overreaction, Emma. I've had migraines. You just need a dark room. I was in the ER because they thought my AVM ruptured. But it didn't, right? I told you doctors were being dramatic about the danger. A nurse checked my vitals. After she left, Mom lowered her voice. Emma, please don't tell people about this hospital stay. Word gets around in medical circles. I don't want people at my ceremony asking about your health. It would take attention from my achievement. You want me to hide that I almost had a brain hemorrhage? I want you to be discreet. This is my big moment. I've worked my entire career for this recognition. Can you please just let me have this without making it about your medical drama? Surgery went forward August 23rd. 7 hours of Dr. Walsh carefully resecting the AVM. I woke with a bandaged head, significant pain, strict orders for 6 weeks limited activity. Dad picked me up 2 days later. Mom was too busy with ceremony preparations. Your mother is stressed about her speech, Dad explained. This award means everything to her. I just had brain surgery. I know, sweetie. But you're fine now, right? Surgery went well. Your mother needs you to understand this is important for her career. Over 3 weeks, Mom called repeatedly about the ceremony. What I'd wear, where I'd sit, whether I looked recovered enough for photos. Never once asked about pain, healing, or follow-ups. The day before the ceremony, she called with a chilling request. Emma, if anyone asks about your health, just say you had minor headaches that are resolved. Don't mention surgery. Don't mention anything serious. Can you do that? You want me to lie about brain surgery? I want you to be tactful. There's media, nursing administrators from across the state. I don't want my ceremony turned into discussion about your medical issues. My issues you've called just headaches for 4 months? Emma, don't start. Wear the navy dress, smile for photos, and please don't embarrass me. Revelation. The ceremony was held at the Grand Ballroom. 300 nurses, administrators, and healthcare executives filled the room. I sat front row between Dad and Kelly, my head still tender where they'd cut into my skull 3 weeks earlier. After several smaller awards, the MC announced the main event. State Nursing Leadership Award to Linda Foster for exemplary work in nursing excellence and embodiment of family values in healthcare. Mom walked to the stage in a burgundy gown, glowing with pride. She accepted the Crystal Award and stepped to the podium. Thank you for this incredible honor. I've dedicated my career to excellence in nursing because healthcare is about compassion, about listening to patients, about taking their concerns seriously. I shifted uncomfortably. As a mother and nurse, I've believed in leading by example. My family has taught me the importance of balance, being there for people you love while maintaining professional excellence. Kelly glanced at me uncomfortably. Sometimes in healthcare we encounter people who dramatize symptoms, who seek attention through exaggerated medical complaints. As nurses, it's our job to discern between real medical need and anxiety-driven catastrophizing. My hands clenched. I've seen this in my own family. My daughter has struggled with headaches, simple migraines she's convinced herself are serious. Doctors always want extreme interventions. But as an experienced nurse, I know the difference between genuine emergency and drama. People started looking at our family. I tell my staff the same thing I tell my daughter. Not every headache requires brain surgery. Sometimes people just need to relax, take ibuprofen, and stop seeking attention through medical. Linda. A woman's voice from the back. Everyone turned. Dr. Jennifer Walsh stood up, wearing a formal dress with a name tag identifying her as a sponsor. Her neurology practice had donated $10,000 to the Nursing Scholarship Fund. Dr. Walsh, the MC said nervously. Did you have a question? I have a clarification. Dr. Walsh walked down the aisle, heels clicking on marble. Linda Foster just publicly stated her daughter has simple migraines and doesn't require brain surgery. I'm that daughter's neurologist. I performed an AVM resection on her 3 weeks ago. The room erupted in whispers. Mom's face went white. This is private. You made it public when you used your daughter's condition as an example in your acceptance speech, Dr. Walsh said coldly. She pulled out her phone. With the patient's permission, I'm going to show everyone what simple migraines look like. You can't. Medical privacy. Emma signed a release this morning specifically authorizing me to share her medical information at this event. Dr. Walsh looked at me. I nodded. The ballroom screen switched to my brain MRI. The AVM was clearly visible, a dangerous tangle of blood vessels in my temporal lobe. This is an arteriovenous malformation, Dr. Walsh said, her voice carrying through shocked silence. Emma Foster had 15% annual risk of fatal brain hemorrhage. This isn't migraine. This isn't anxiety. This is a life-threatening vascular abnormality that required 7 hours of surgery to resect. She swiped to surgical photos from my operation. Linda Foster spent 4 months telling her daughter this was just headaches. She told Emma to try ibuprofen. She discouraged surgery because it was inconvenient for family events. She asked Emma to hide her brain surgery from people at this ceremony because it would be embarrassing. Mom tried to speak but no sound came. Dr. Walsh turned to the audience. 3 weeks ago, I cut into Emma Foster's skull to remove an AVM that could have killed her at any moment. Today I listened to her mother, a nursing leadership nominee, publicly dismiss that surgery as unnecessary drama. The State Nursing Association president stood from the judge's table. Dr. Walsh, do you have documentation of these statements? Extensive documentation. Voicemails, texts, emails. All provided by Emma, who started documenting when her mother refused to acknowledge the severity. Dr. Walsh pulled up a text on screen. From Mom's phone. Emma, you're catastrophizing about headaches again. Stop being dramatic. I need you to look healthy at my ceremony. Another text. Brain surgery for migraines is completely unnecessary. These doctors are just trying to make money. A voicemail played through speakers, Mom's voice clear. I've told my nursing staff that you love drama about your migraines. Everyone knows you're attention-seeking. Please don't embarrass me at the ceremony by talking about your supposed brain condition. The room was silent except for my mother's recorded voice. The president looked at Mom. Linda, you're a director of nursing excellence. You've been telling people your daughter's documented AVM was attention-seeking? I didn't realize, I thought. You thought a neurologist was lying? Dr. Walsh's voice was sharp. You thought MRI findings were fabricated? Or did you just not care because your daughter's brain surgery was inconvenient for your award ceremony? Mom started crying. The president motioned to security. We need to pause this ceremony. Linda, please step aside. The board needs to discuss this. Resolution. The State Nursing Association Board convened an emergency meeting lasting 2 hours. They reviewed all documentation. My medical records, Mom's dismissive messages, the timeline of her prioritizing the ceremony over my surgery. The decision was unanimous. The State Nursing Leadership Award was revoked. The official statement cited, conduct fundamentally incompatible with nursing values, and demonstrated lack of compassion and medical judgment. The $20,000 prize was redirected to a scholarship fund for nursing students studying neurology. The story hit medical news within 24 hours. Nursing award winner dismissed daughter's brain surgery as drama, read one headline. Memorial Hospital launched their own investigation. Multiple staff confirmed Mom had been using me as an example in nursing education, telling staff I was attention-seeking about headaches and they should watch for patients like me who dramatize minor conditions. She was removed as Director of Nursing Excellence 2 weeks later. The hospital couldn't keep her in a role focused on nursing values after she'd publicly dismissed her daughter's brain surgery. Dad called once, voice shaking. Dr. Walsh humiliated your mother in front of 300 people. You authorized her to share your medical information. How could you? Mom used my medical condition in her speech as an example of dramatic attention-seeking. I authorized Dr. Walsh to correct the record. Your mother's career is destroyed. 30 years of work gone. She told people my brain surgery was unnecessary drama while I was 3 weeks post-op. You're vindictive and cruel. Don't contact us again. Neither parent has spoken to me since. Kelly sent one text. You ruined Mom's biggest achievement. Hope you're proud. I didn't respond. The medical community rallied around me. Dr. Walsh received support letters from neurology colleagues nationwide. Several nurses reached out saying they'd had similar experiences with family dismissing medical conditions. The Nursing Association used the incident to create training materials about recognizing serious medical conditions, even in family. My case, anonymized, became an example in nursing ethics courses. Mom's career never recovered. She got a staff nursing position at a small clinic, but her reputation was destroyed. Everyone in healthcare knew about the director of nursing excellence who'd called her daughter's brain AVM, just headaches. 6 months post-surgery I was fully recovered. The AVM was gone. The cluster headaches had vanished. Dr. Walsh said they'd probably been caused by the AVM all along. I returned to teaching full-time. Last month I ran into one of Mom's former colleagues at a bookstore. She recognized me from the ceremony. After everything came out, several of us realized we'd been dismissing patients' neurological complaints because Linda taught us to watch for dramatic patients. We've all had to re-examine our practice. You probably saved lives by speaking up. I didn't speak up. Dr. Walsh did. But you documented everything. You gave her permission to share the truth. That took courage. I nodded, my hand touching the scar hidden under my hair. Mom had spent 30 years building a career in nursing excellence. She'd been nominated for the state's highest nursing honor. And she'd used her acceptance speech to publicly dismiss her daughter's life-threatening brain condition as attention-seeking drama. Dr. Walsh had simply shown the medical evidence. Some people might say I should have protected my mother, refused the release, let her have her moment. But I was sitting in that audience 3 weeks after brain surgery, listening to my mother tell 300 healthcare professionals that I was catastrophizing about migraines. Dr. Walsh didn't destroy my mother's career. My mother did that when she chose to use my medical crisis as an example in her awards speech, not knowing my neurosurgeon was in the audience. She prioritized her image over my brain surgery, her ceremony over my survival, her award over basic maternal compassion. The medical scans didn't lie. The surgical records didn't exaggerate. The documented AVM was real, dangerous, and potentially fatal. And unlike my mother's version of nursing excellence, the truth doesn't care about award ceremonies.